crap. Two deer come through. Both of them, I think, were bucks. They were heavy, stepping deer, steady walking, trying to get up to that bed. Major bed area behind me. I think they both winded me. This wind is whirling every direction. Terrible, terrible wind. I ain't doing nothing but just blowing this place out, so I'm gonna get down and leave. I hate it, but I'm gonna scout. I'm fixing to burn this place up on this corner that I've never scouted. I'm gonna scout it all out. Maybe find me a good stand site or two in there. We'll see. I'm fixing to get down though. This wind ain't cooperating at all. I was just fixing to get down, and now I got deer coming.
You know, for me, hunting deer is not a science. It's pretty much a guessing game. You read the sign, put the pieces of the puzzle together, and try to set up on the right trail. The trail I set up on is actually behind me. I did not expect these deer to come on the bottom side of me the way they did. I walked in along the side of this pond using it as access because it was the open area. You hear about people saying, well, you take the open terrain area to access your stand location, and sometimes the deer will just do things you don't expect them to do. That's why it's called hunting and not killing. Now these deer, they don't really act like they smell me. The young buck for sure, he's probably a year and a half old deer. But there's an older doe that pops out, and she does pick up my scent, even though I'm wearing rubber boots, not touching any vegetation with anything. They're tucked inside my boots, pants, legs, and all. But both these deer went straight across where I walked in, didn't really acknowledge my scent. But the old doe does, and that's the one that always gets you. Nevertheless, I still enjoy hunting, probably more so now than I ever have, because as I'm bow hunting, I learn so much more about the reactions of deer. I almost can feel like I'm getting in their heads sometimes and can predict what they're going to do even before they do it. So I know once this doe picks up my scent and she's kind of studying it, following along where I walked, one or two things is going to happen. She's either going to get in there, get real nervous, possibly start snorting, stomping her foot, maybe trot off. You never know for sure, but she's definitely studying it, so you know this is not a good situation, and she eventually finds me. Some of them will just never leave until they do find you. Their curiosity is just off the charts. Those are the ones that really tick you off when you sit there for a solid hour and this deer's still stomping, looking, searching, sniffing, snorting, and just will not leave you alone. Those are the ones you want to let the air out of the lungs for. I thought about shooting this doe. I thought if she gives me a shot opportunity, I'm probably going to take it because the wind's whirling, kicking around. I already got busted twice. This may be the end of my day. Should I just go ahead and take her, or get down and scout and really try to figure out what these bucks are doing in the area? And then she looks straight at me. And there you have it, folks. One thing you'll notice as they all take off running, none of them ever even second guess what she's doing. They all just leave with her.
I can't believe she looked that high up in the tree at me like that. She looked dead at me. There's a whole herd of them over there. I bet there's 6, 7 deer in that group. One of them was a buck, little bitty buck.
Well, as I'm sitting there trying to process what just happened, I'm obviously entertained by the beautiful view in this area. It's always something to look at in nature. I never really get tired of this stuff.
It's getting on up in the morning. This wind is whooping left, right, backwards and forwards, coming out of every direction. I was just fixing to get down out of the tree stand, and a whole group of deer come up. One of them busted me, look up in the tree at me. What I got here, though, is a log road that comes down through here. It's all growed up, and these deer like to travel this thing. It comes around here. You got a high ridge over on that side of this pond, and the sun's coming up behind me, so I'm actually facing north, and the wind is supposed to be out of the north-northeast, which would kick my wind right over that pond, and most of the morning that's what it's been doing, but it's kicking around and whirling so much I can't sit here no more. I'm gonna get down and do a little bit of scout and see if I can't figure out what them bucks were doing. Cause I had 2 bucks come through here, and I think I blew both of them out. I think they winded me. Couldn't get them on film. There's a really nice buck in here working this corner, and I'd like to get him. It's all thick in here, really, really nasty thick behind me up on there high ridge. So I got a high ridge behind me. I got a draw to my left and a high ridge dropping down. I got this bottom here with a few acorns in it, not much. This pond pinches everything around to this one corner, and then I got a high ridge over there and high ridge over there, and another draw with a creek coming out through it. So got a lot of diversity right here, a lot of terrain features pinching all together in one spot. All the trails merge right in here. And I'm gonna get down and do some scouting. Well, this trail here is obviously the trail he took. You can see up through there what he walks through. Got fresh droppings on the ground right here. This is probably where he stood and caught my wind. Stand right here. Look through the brush there. You can see that pond that I'm sitting over. And this is the trail that buck walked this morning. So he came from this direction around that ridge, and he's got droppings. He's dropped all the way up this trail, got droppings. I got tracks going both directions on this trail, so this right here would be a good trail to sit on. Problem is, can I get in here without blowing deer out? Because this is a bed area too. You can see how thick it is in here. I don't think he's bedding here though. I think he's bedding further up, because the majority of the beds are up yonder. They got beds everywhere up there. But I bet you there's beds here too. He's skirting through this thick edge around this pond up high. And he's doing it early. His thermals are still dropping. So if I can get in here on a good wind day, I can set up and kill this deer. I'd probably get in that pine tree right there up about them limbs. Get about a 10-yard shot. Good opening. I'm gonna waypoint this spot. Well, the good news is he ain't bedding up here on this high hump. At least there ain't no fresh beds up here. He could bed here and be just about impenetrable. He doesn't have really good escape routes, I don't think, because I think he'd get tangled up in this mess, be honest. So that's a good sign. That makes that tree I'd waypointed even better. These beavers has got this whole area. Good night alive. Fish scared the piss out of me. Oh, it's a duck. Cool. That was a diving duck. Popped up out of the water. Scared the mess out of me. There it goes. That was pretty cool. That little diving duck. Anyway, these beavers have got this dammed up so that the back end of that marsh is wet still all the way to the corner. And the deer ain't really crossing over through those reeds and cattails, whatever you want to call those things, like they used to. So I had to change my tactic just a little bit. I got me a different stand set up, picked out for the next time I sit here. That old buck used to bed right back on that little point right there. There's a big water oak acorn tree right there. When it's dropping, it is super hot. And I'm gonna sit here. I got a green field up here. I'm gonna sit on the green field this evening and kind of get a idea of what these deer are doing. Maybe I can get a visual on them in this corner here and watch how they cut through here. That's the game plan for the evening hunt. Well, I don't know if y'all can see them turkeys out there in the field edge or not, but I'm about 40 yards from a group of turkeys trying to get to my tree stand. How many people do you know that can sneak up on turkeys walking through these crunchy leaves? Can't see them through this viewfinder. I don't know if y'all can see them turkeys or not. I walked over here to a little opening where I can get a little better look at them, but I can't believe they ain't seen me yet. That's just crazy. Heck, if I could sneak up on turkey, you think I'd sneak up on deer? Well, I gotta get to my stand. Can't believe they're still standing over there. If they're still over there when I climb the tree, then we just gonna sit and watch turkeys.
Well, the turkeys finally left after I got about halfway up the tree, and it wasn't very long after that deer started filtering into the green field. And as usual, they come in from a different location than I expected them to come from. So things ought to get pretty interesting. The wind's in my favor sitting here for now, but when the thermals start to switch, I'm going to be in trouble if the rest of these deer come in this same general area. I think that might be the same little buck I saw this morning on the opposite side of this pond. There's a few of them that look a lot alike in this area, little 3-point spikes. I don't really know how to separate them. I don't observe them that close. At that age, they don't really get my interest, but it's nice knowing that I've got a group of does and young bucks in the area kind of sets up good for the rut later on. Right now, these does, I'm not sure if she just sensed something's wrong or something spooked her a noise. I don't think they're smelling me at this point. I still got a little bit of a breeze kicking out across that pond into my face. That looks like a little 3-point. I don't know what in the world they come into this green field for, 'cause if you look at it, it ain't nothing but just dead grass out there all over the place. My green fields were pathetic this year. And this is still kind of early season in this video, so maybe they're looking for a little bit of new growth coming up, but pretty much everything in that field is dead. It wasn't too long after that group of deer went on through the field and out the other end that I heard some more deer coming. Turn around and they're coming out the same exact trail. So you just never know until you sit in a spot for observation, see it exactly what the deer are doing. You can predict all you want. Sometimes you're right. I think most of the time I'm right, but every now and then they kind of throw you for a loop and do something unexpected. Now, mama doe with a little one, they always seem extra spooky. I love watching them though. It's just about that time of the evening where the wind's starting to really settle down and get calm and the thermals start to drop. And you could tell she smelled something right there. It just spooked her. Not really sure if it was me or something else she smelt on the ground there from residual scent of something that came through earlier, but like I said, them mama does are just a different breed. They are spooky. They're always cautious, watching for any and everything out there. What's kind of funny is that young fawn is watching mama. She doesn't really know what mama's doing, but watch her kind of mimic what mama does when she gets to that same little spot there. They learn quick. I'm not even sure if that little fawn knows what it's jumping for. It just knows that mama done it over there, so I guess she's just going to imitate mama. Or maybe she did smell something. They have to learn quick or they don't survive. It's a cruel world out there in nature. And while I was watching the mama doe and her fawn, I didn't even realize this other deer come up behind me. And the thermals are really starting to tell the tale now. You can tell this deer is catching my scent. Probably not really sure where it's coming from. One thing about this setup is behind me there's a logging road over there. And I think that a lot of these deer think I'm over there on the log road somewhere. This deer actually came from the log road on the trail I expect the deer to be showing up on. This is the only one that acted right. And it comes out there into the field, looks around a little bit, and just trots right out there into it. Not a care in the world. Now this is cutting it kind of close with the thermals, because if they come out on that trail and hook a left like this one's doing, they're going to smell me. If they go to the right, like I thought they would do, they won't smell me. Well, beating that nose is probably the biggest challenge when it comes to deer hunting. I'm not really a proponent for scent control, although I do have a pretty strong scent control regimen. I wash all my hunting clothes in unscented soaps, no UV brighteners. I clean my boots regular, keep them on a boot dryer so the moisture doesn't build up in them. I put baking soda down in them. All these things I do to help. I don't really think there's anything you can do to beat a whitetail's nose. And that's the honest truth. I've tried cover scents, lures, different things. Some work on some conditions. Others don't do anything at all except bring the deer's alertness to a higher level and make them more aware of something going on that shouldn't be there. And that's not something that I really want to see a deer do. Some of them will follow a lure or a scent for a short distance. Their curiosity levels up high with some of the older does, and especially the more mature bucks. Just they don't like it. I think once they get a little age on them, they done been tricked multiple times. They curiosity level is just not there anymore, and they don't take chances. So just try to stay clean as possible and play the wind.
Almost every single one of those deer smelt me. I almost think to high heaven. The thermals is pulling my scent straight down into the field. I knew it would, but I expected the deer to come from the other side. So this was a good learning experience for me. I'm just sitting here for observation set. I'm not really trying to kill a deer. I really kind of want to know if one of them bucks pops out along the dam or out in front of me where all these intersecting trails are. Kind of disappointing right here. But it's a learning experience. If a buck does come down in this field, I better shoot him as soon as I get a chance. Okay, he gonna bust me.
Now all the other deer have left as far as I know, but this one little old buck right here, his curiosity level, him being a year and a half old, just got to him. He just wanted to come back and see what all the commotion was about. So he's sniffing around, looking around. He's like, okay, I know you're here somewhere. Where are you, big boy? This is what's called getting an education. If this deer survives long enough and makes it through all his curiosity stages in life, then he'll eventually become a formidable opponent in this so-called chess match we call deer hunting. If he ever makes it to maturity, he may become one of those ghosts, because they just don't take chances. When they stand in the distance and they're looking out into the field and they see the reaction of all the other deer, don't think they ain't watching. They're back there and they know what's going on, and they just don't show up.